I guess the first thing to say, Willie, is when you look back on your time at Leeds as a player and a coach, I guess the Challenge Cup wasn't overly kind to you, was it?
No, not really. We had a couple of visits in my time as a player, and we were close, but we didn't quite get the silverware that we were after. We lost by 2 points in 2003 against the Bulls, which was heartbreaking enough. It was our first time there for the majority of that group, and we got a chance to go back in 2005 and got pipped by a point, and were disappointing on that day against Hull FC, who were fantastic at Cardiff. And then I got to go there a few years later when I was on the coaching staff, and we got done by Warrington convincingly. And again, we sort of disappointed with our performance, and frustrating at the time because there'd been a couple of good visits and a couple of chances that we had, and to add to some of the grand final success that we had as a club, and it wasn't to be. And I was especially disappointed knowing that was my last year at the club, and I thought it was going to be my chance to enjoy some of that and enjoy Wembley success with the team. But it wasn't to be, and they've gone on to win it last year, as everybody knows, and it was great to see some of my friends that had been there and tried so many times before and been disappointed along the way, enjoy it and get it, and hopefully that's not the case in a couple of weeks.
In 2005, Leeds were big favourites, weren't they, against a team from the city of Hull. 10 years on, do you see parallels?
Possibly, yeah. We're the underdogs. We haven't really found consistent patches of form. When I say consistent, we've strung 3 or 4 really good weeks together, and then we've dipped for 3 or 4 weeks, and we haven't been able to sustain any sort of momentum that we've put together. Leeds will go into this game favourites on the back of some of the fantastic form they've got right now, and they've been by far the best team, especially with the way that they play this season. So there may be some parallels in that respect. The team from Hull playing against Leeds to 2005 go into this game as underdogs, but we're not going to be tourists or make up the numbers and just to be the opposition on the day. We're going to go and have a crack at Leeds and do the best we can.
Well, that's it. Hull caused a shock. Can Hull KL this year?
There's no reason in a contest such as this, and that's the beauty of our sport and the beauty of the cup. And whoever goes into it, there's been plenty of upsets in the past. Sheffield was a big one against Wigan, and you look back at other games in the past where the underdogs have come through, and it's on the day stuff, and that's the thing about the cup. We've probably proven the odds wrong a couple of times this year in the cup, and not many people would have picked us against Wigan early on in the rounds, especially after our game against them 2 weeks previous. And then we had a tough one at home against Catalan, which we had to come over, and then obviously the one against Warrington at Headingley, the semi-final, was a wonderful performance. And whilst people said we had the better draw out of the 4 teams and the 3 other teams besides ourselves going into the semis, but they were always going to be tough, Warrington, and they were. We built ourselves a pretty handy lead there for a moment, and they just crawled themselves back, and it was dicey towards the end there. But our boys shone through, and they've shown, as I said, in the one-off games this year, we've been pretty handy. We can get up for it. It's, for us, our big challenge now has been consistent, being able to do that week in and week out. But we'll be trying to do that again at Wembley in a couple of weeks.
As someone who's experienced the day as a player and a coach, what can you say to your players this year?
Enjoy it. Enjoy the moment leading up to it. Enjoy the surroundings. But take it all in your stride. You enjoy it a lot more if you're successful. It's a much more enjoyable experience afterwards. I always remember 2003 going there and being a bit of a rabbit in the headlights at Cardiff. It was such a massive crowd, a fantastic stadium, and it blew me away the day before walking down the tunnel, and it just explodes in your vision how big and the enormity of the occasion and the arena itself. But that can get over you, it can overwhelm you, and it did me, and that was my mistake, and that's part of my job now, to sort of impart that on the guys that I'm coaching, just to enjoy it, but also just take it in your stride. It is another 80 minutes, it's another patch of grass, no different to anywhere else we've played this year, and the rules are the same. We've just got to try and focus on the game itself, and not play it too early. You've got a right to enjoy the occasion, but as I said, you enjoy it a lot more afterwards, regardless of how the week goes in preparations. If you're unsuccessful in the result of the game, there's always things you can pick apart in the week and what went wrong and what went right. It wasn't as good a week as I thought it was, and vice versa. When you're successful, everything went well. You overcame any hurdles that were in your way through the week or in preparation, and you just got to focus on the things that you do well, and that's a big thing for us. We don't have a lot of big game experience. We've got a couple of people who've won the Challenge Cup, and they'll be important for us. People like Tyrone McCarthy and our coach, Chris Chester, he won it in 2005 against us. Everybody who's involved in our team will play an important part in trying to prepare our players, because the opposition, they've got plenty of big game experience, and they've been there, done that, and they know how to handle it, and that's what we'll be trying to get our boys to do.
You mentioned it, Leeds' quest for the Holy Grail came to an end last year, didn't it? It really had been a crusade up to that point. Talk of them being unshackled this year because of that. Does that make them more dangerous, or does that make them maybe take their eye off the ball a little bit?
I'll be honest, I sort of questioned at the start of the year whether some of the hunger would be there, and they've proved me wrong. They're playing like they're unshackled. They're playing free and easy, and Cuthbertson's been a fantastic addition to their side, and he adds a different dimension. Paul Ayton's been a revelation. It's unfortunate that the fellow won't be able to join us on the big day and be able to take part, because you want the best players. You want everybody to participate and be able to enjoy such an occasion. But yeah, they're playing the brand of football that I'm absolutely loving them watching, and it's dangerous to defend against, and we've got to come up with the right plan of defence to try and combat some of that, but also do it within our philosophies and do it within our structures and do it in a way that's worked for us as well. And that's an important thing, is that we don't go away from being true to ourselves. It's like I say, they're a dangerous team, and they all look to be enjoying themselves. Maguire's turning back the clock of youth, and Simfield's really directing them well. Peacock looks like he wants to go out with a bang and putting everything into this last little bit of his playing career. So yeah, there's plenty for them to play for. There's plenty for us as well.
Finally, you had a great career, but you will always be known for your time at Leeds. You've got no problems trying to put one over your former side?
No. Well, I'm a professional, and I'm a coach for Hull Kingston Rovers, and my focus is on the opposition and trying to get my team right and help Chris Chester to do the best job we can as the coaching staff to get our players in the right frame of mind, come up with the right plan and the right tactics to go against whoever the opposition is, and that's your job as a player, and that hasn't changed for me as a coach. I loved my time at Leeds, and they'll forever hold a big place in not just my heart, but also my family. My sons pretty much grew up around the Leeds club and down at the Kirksall training ground, and we always look back with fond memories, and our friends are still there, and they always will be. But at the end of the day, it's a job, and excuse me, that's the way I've got to approach it. I've got a group of 30 players that I work with every single day now, and my full attention and my full focus on making them better and trying to do the best job that we can. All the best to the Leeds boys. I still watch them fondly and support them when I can, but on the day it's about us and the work that we do. I've been working with this group since November, every day since the cold, and I've seen what they go through day in and day out, and the struggles that we've had, some of the injuries that some of the players have pulled through, and I want them to enjoy the success. I've also seen what Neil Hudgell puts into this club, and he's put a new stand in the club. He's trying to take it forward. Some of these supporters, it's been a generation since they've been to a Challenge Cup final, and some of these people, adults, have never seen their team at Wembley in this game. So I want to see them enjoy themselves, and hopefully we can put a performance that they can walk away and be proud of the team, just hopefully like they've been for most of this year. But yeah, I'll always be supportive of the Leeds club and what they did for me in my time, and thankful to everybody there. But at this moment in time, I'm Hull Kingston Rovers.